Hey everybody, welcome back for another quarterly flip through. This is for July through September 2024. If you haven't checked out my other flip throughs or my planner awards video for this planner, you can go back a few different videos on my channel. So I'm loving these flip throughs because it's making me realize I did a lot more last summer than I felt. It's nice to see things written down and be like, wow, I actually went places last summer. It was all sort of a blur, especially once we got into the fall and life got really busy, but it's been really nice. So this was my July dashboard page, and I even forgot there were Olympics last year, honestly. So once again, we have a Molly monthly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And July is where it gets really hot weather-wise here. So we mostly just spent time with friends and family. We did make it out to the California State Fair, which was fun, especially because I remember this weekend it actually wasn't that hot. It was probably 110 right here. So we went out to Monterey with my in-laws, with my sister-in-law's family, which was a really nice welcome break from that. And then I remember this week it cooled down quite a lot, so that was really nice. I was also dealing with a lot of stuff with my car though, because my old car, may she rest in peace, is didn't pass smog, so I was trying to figure all of that out. And then Clover was going to the vet and all of those types of things. I had an interview. Oh, that was for a tutoring job. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's look ahead. Sorry about this streak of light. I'm filming late in the afternoon and the angle of the sun is coming through and there's not really anything I can do about it. But yes, this is one of the few Itty Bitty Sticker weekly kits that I have used, and then I've got a little bit of foil from, I think, Plan With Me Stickers and the Perry Planner and Planner Pixie Co. I used this because it was Clover's first adoptiversary, so we had her for one whole year. Let's see. What did we do? I was on summer break. If you don't know, I'm a college lecturer, so when I don't have summer classes, which has been pretty much my whole summer, my whole teaching career, I am off. I really love these date covers, and I color blocked this to go along with the date covers. This past summer was definitely a time where I assessed who I was following on Planner Instagram and really culled the list, because even when I agreed with people most of the time, sometimes just the way people portray things or the way people talk about things just was not what I was looking for over there. It was like, I agree with you on this, but the way that you're going about talking about it is putting me off. It's not that I totally disagree with you. It's just I don't know. There's just, I feel like that's fine. I feel like people make a big deal out of when people unfollow them on Instagram, and it's unless you're friends in real life, really, what does it matter? Yeah, that's my least favorite type of person on Instagram, is the one who still likes to point out when they post about something and then they're like, oh my God, I lost so many followers over this. And it's I support your right to say whatever you want to say on social media within reason. There's a few categories of really horrible things that I don't think people should just be allowed to spew, but say what you want to say on social media, that's fine with me, but do recognize that sometimes people are going to mute and or unfollow you, either because they don't agree with you or because they do agree with you, but they maybe just don't like how often you're talking about it, or how you're memifying it, or all those types of things. So I don't know why I'm going on about that, but I really had to take a look at how I was using Instagram this summer and figure out why it was making me so nervous every time I opened it. And I want to be able to use my planner Instagram to share things there, mostly planner stuff. So I think I have the right to kind of curate who I'm actually looking at. And if you're watching this and we talk on Instagram, if we genuinely have conversations through Instagram, you're fine. We have more of a conversation going already, so that's fine. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who you end up really invested in what they're posting about, but they don't follow you, and then they still get offended when people unfollow them. It's weird. Anyway, that's too much to talk about that. This was the week of 4th of July. We had some friends over, played some games, had some barbecue, I think. And then we went over to a friend's house and had more barbecue. And then we were just planning some travel for later in the summer. Spent way too much time on that one, sorry. This is from Apple Blossom Prints, and I paired it with a little bit of Plantahana foil. I used this week because we went to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which is a lovely aquarium, like especially if you love sea otters, great aquarium for that. A bit expensive and very, very crowded this day, which in mid-July makes sense because all of us who live inland are trying to escape the scorching heat, and Monterey is a great place to do that. So what else was going on this week? I want to be where the people aren't. Significant otter time. I pulled in like all of my aquarium related stickers. I spilled water on this, unfortunately. I forget how that happened, but it happened. So this side is kind of messed up a little bit, so that breaks my heart just a little bit because I love this kit. Oh, this is when we were getting Clover examined. Mostly the determination was that she had asthma because she was wheezing a lot. This is when Hurricane Beryl was happening. I miss giving the cats screen door time. I'm kind of holding off on that right now because of my paranoia about bird flu and how we don't know a lot about it. So I hope I can get back to giving them screen door time soon. And we confirmed asthma and or allergies, so we ordered an inhaler for our cat. And then I was job searching and prepping for an interview for the next week. And then yeah, this day we went to Monterey. It was fun, very crowded though. It was really hard to find parking. And Clover was 15 months. I saw a hummingbird, which is always fun. But yeah, this was with my sister-in-law's family. Her husband and kids came up from SoCal. That was kind of like the halfway point for us. These are leftovers from a Cinderella paper kit that I didn't color block the first time I used it, but this time I did. And I think the leftovers version ends up looking a lot better because it's color blocked. Like these colors look great color blocked. We were still doing Clover's post-treatment observation, so this was week 8. Oh, I was doing Duolingo at this point. It was a little bit cooler these few days. The cats killed a spider together. Oh, Clover slept by my side. So I forgot to mention, at the end of May, after Clover finished treatment, we finally integrated both cats into sleeping in our bedroom with us, which was something we hadn't done since we brought Clover home. So both of the cats would sleep in the bedroom with us with the door closed. Now we just let them have like full range of the whole apartment. We had an issue when we first moved in here with Evie jumping on the counters, which was something she didn't do before. So that's why we would keep our bedroom door closed, is to keep her in and keep her off the counters, because I don't want cat feet on my counters. And also I'm paranoid she's gonna like turn on the stove somehow. But she's stopped doing that for now. So we just kind of let them have free range. But yeah, at this point it was nice to have like everybody able to sleep in the same room. I had an interview. I didn't end up getting that job, but that's fine. I consider all interviews like good practice. Oh, the cats were kind of fighting late at night, probably because we didn't play with them enough. That was that CrowdStrike outage. That didn't affect me at all. I think it might have affected my husband, but barely. I wasn't working at this time, obviously, so it didn't affect me, and I wasn't traveling anywhere. I think my brother was flying somewhere though, so that was fun for him, I'm sure. Oh, this makes me miss this. So there was a Hobbit themed, or like Lord of the Rings themed cafe. It was a board game cafe here called There and Back Cafe. They closed a few months after this, but we went to an event there because our friend was hosting a D&D session. So I tried D&D, like a one-shot version. I don't think it's something I'm going to continue with like long term, but it was fun to try out, and I really enjoyed that cafe. I remember it being really hot this day though. And then we went and did smog checks on the 2 cars that needed them, and 1 car passed because it's newer, and my old car, my first car, the first thing I ever really owned as far as real property, did not pass. So I spent the next few weeks trying to figure out something to do with that. Oh, and that was when Biden dropped out. Interesting. Oh, and then this week was, we were in Monterey when, I'm not going to talk about this in depth, but you just look up what happened nationally on July 13th, 2024. You'll remember probably. We got the news as we were out, and my husband's brother-in-law, my sister-in-law's husband, was like telling us about it. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about this in public right now, but yeah, that's what was going on there. I think it's interesting that Biden dropped out this day because literally the day before I was reading The Hill We Climb, which was the inaugural poem for his inauguration. Did I somehow know that was what was going to happen? I don't know. Okay, this is another kit from Apple Blossom Prints. I love how this turned out. This was because we went to the state fair, and I don't think I'd been to the state fair in like 8 years. I was trying to fix my car. I went and got a temporary operating permit, which was a 60-day permit from the DMV. So I spent like 2 hours at the DMV this day because my registration expired like here, I'm pretty sure. And I wanted to see if I could fix the issue that wasn't making it not pass smog. It was like a computer issue, so it was really tricky. They couldn't just like inspect the stuff themselves and pass it because in California, your computer has to say that the car is like not putting out too many emissions or something. It's complicated. It all ended up, spoiler alert, ended with me just retiring the vehicle, and the state paid me for that, so that's fine. Let's see. But yeah, I was like driving the car around trying to make the computer do its one job. I'm sure the computer in the car had more than one job, but like at the time it felt like that was its one job. Oh, the Paris Olympics started here. And then we went to the state fair this night with my youngest brother, my two youngest sisters, my youngest brother's girlfriend, and my sister's friend. Didn't go on like a ton of rides. Did I go on any rides? I'm just realizing maybe I didn't. No, because they do cost extra money with admission. So we were there mostly to like eat. Like we got a funnel cake and there were fireworks that night. We got some barbecue pork barrel from a truck. That was really good. So we mostly just watched my siblings go on rides because the rides they wanted to go on were like the crazy ones. Yeah, and then it was only 80 degrees on July 27th, which is really nice for this time of year because usually it's around like high 90s, low 100s. So we were like opening up the windows. That was beautiful. I have a bad feeling this summer's gonna really be hot because like January was super dry, April's been super dry and warm. The only rain we've really gotten besides last year was like February and March, so I'm a little worried about this summer. Why did we make steak for the cats? Is it just because we wanted steak and we're like we should throw them a bone? Maybe. So that was July. Here's August. Oh my God, I absolutely love this monthly kit, and I was able to color block it because the dates of the week were color blocked. Loved this. I had a teaching interview. I ended up getting that job. And then we went to Washington State for a friend's wedding. That was a really quick trip, but lots of fun. And we finished Clover's post FIP treatment observations. We made it through 84 days without her relapsing. And now we're on day 330, so we're almost a year FIP free. We went to a baseball game, we went to a concert, lots and lots of fun. And then I started the fall semester teaching 5 classes at 3 different colleges. Hi, Evie. Evie, come here. What are you bringing me? Oh, you didn't, oh, did you bring me something? Thank you. She didn't quite bring it all the way to me, but she did bring me the same toy. Ew, it's wet from saliva. Okay. Thank you, Evie. I appreciate you. She just woke up from like a 5-hour long nap, so she needs to let me know that she's here. We appreciate you. So yeah, August was a big month. It ended up going from like June and July are very quiet in my life a lot of the time. May is usually pretty crazy, and then August things pick right up again. So these were leftovers from Cinderella paper. I think I color blocked originally with this kit, so this time I wasn't able to color block, but I think it turned out pretty cute. This was a pretty in-between type of week where it's just like just prepping for whatever happened next. I guess I was vlogging. I think that vlog is still up. It's a weekly vlog. Let's see. Found tomatoes that grew in our yard. We started Clover's inhaler because it showed up this day. It's mostly helping. Every now and then she still has like a wheezing fit, and I'm like, does that mean the inhaler's working or not? I was really into, oh, that reminds me. Maybe that's something I can do with my free time. I used to be really into Wordle and especially Strands, which is another New York Times game. That's like, Strands is like my strength. I used to do Wordle, Connections, Strands, and sometimes the mini crossword, and Strands is definitely the one that I'm the best at. And then we were trying to get my car fixed, so I took it here, spent some money on it. Ultimately, we weren't able to figure it out. Snuggle Clover at 4 a.m. She must have crawled into bed with me. Scraped nose and toe. What happened to you? Oh, you know what? I vlogged about this. I think one of my fingernails was like, had like a sharp edge to it for some reason. And then we got our patio string lights. That was cute. We don't use them very often right now, but I think this summer we will. We were planning our New Zealand trip. Oh, I love this one. This is definitely one that made it into the Planner Awards. This is a Leonard Designs kit with a mix of scribble prints and prairie planner foil. I used this because we went to our friend's wedding, or really my husband's friend's wedding, but I've known her for over 10 years at this point, so I consider her a friend too. Like, my husband and I are not necessarily like, these are my friends and those are your friends. Like, we've kind of just joined all the friends together at this point. But yeah, I had a teaching interview, got offered classes for that, and then had to do a bunch of HR stuff and live scan stuff for that job because I knew I was going out of town. So I'm like, I just want to get this done really quickly. And then let's see what else. We flew to Spokane, Washington this day. And our friend had a bridal brunch. We walked around the riverfront, and then we were splitting an Airbnb with a couple of other friends. So we just hung out this night, went out to like a brew pub, and then came home and made like tea and cocoa and just like sat around chatting for hours. It was a lot of fun. And then this day was the wedding. So it was in Mount Spokane State Park, the like kind of mini ceremony, very like elopement style. And then the reception was in Idaho. So now I can say I've been to Idaho. It's fine. I don't think I'll be back anytime soon, but you know, yeah, the cake was really good. I remember that. And this was my brother's 30th birthday. Had a nice morning coffee chat, both of these mornings, with our friends who were staying with us in the same Airbnb. And I think I vlogged this week as well. I did, yeah. And then my husband and I dropped them off at the airport because they had a much earlier flight than us. We went to brunch. I was hungover, which is not a frequent occurrence for me, but the drinks were really good at the wedding reception. So yeah, I kind of overindulged just a bit. And then we flew home in the evening. We didn't end up doing much on Sunday just because I wasn't feeling well and it was really hot. And yeah. Then this is from Pink Leaf Prints. Now that we're back in Sacramento, I want to make sure to go to at least one ball game a year because we have the Sacramento River Cats. We're also hosting the Oakland A's the next couple of years, but those tickets are kind of expensive and probably maybe sold out. I don't know. I hear people complaining about the parking situation. We have a nice little ballpark though, and it's near the river too, so it's kind of scenic. But yeah, I love baseball. This was also when Clover's observation was complete. So this was week 12. So that's why I used some foil for graduation because technically Clover graduated from treatment. I got offered a 5th class. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Teaching 5 classes. I'm going to be busy, but it'll be fine. It was a bit much. I'm still thinking about maybe taking on a 5th class if I can find one. Because I'm definitely scheduled to teach 4, but I don't know. The fall was really busy, but also like this fall, I don't think I'm going to have as much going on. So it might be more doable, but we'll make that decision later. It's currently April. Classes don't start till August. I have some time to figure this out. Because if you don't know, especially with adjunct instructors, sometimes they make you an offer like literally like 2 weeks before the semester starts or like the day before a semester starts. I haven't had the day before situation, but I have had this where it's like they need someone like 2 weeks before classes start and you're like, yeah, sure, why not? So if from a student perspective, you've ever wondered why things feel like they're planned at the last minute, sometimes they are, because sometimes people cancel at the last minute. That's just kind of how it goes. Clover was 16 months. There were more tomatoes. Let's see, this is where we went to the River Cats game. They have fireworks on Friday and Saturday nights when they're at home. We can actually hear them sometimes from our apartment, even though we don't live right by the ballpark. They have really good food at, I was going to call it Raley Field because that's what it was when I was growing up, and now it's Sutter Health Park. Rolls off the tongue less. Raley's is a local grocery store chain, in case you were wondering. So they originally sponsored the ballpark. So that's why it was called Raley Field. They still have a booth in the ballpark where you can like buy food from like, I guess like the deli portion of the grocery store. It's funny. And then we went to Billy Strings, which was at the Greek Theater in Berkeley. That was a lot of fun, even though I didn't know most of the songs because we went mostly for my husband. He really loves Billy Strings, but Billy Strings seems like a really nice guy. He's a very sweet performer. Says thank you a lot, which we love. Okay, moving on. This is a kit from Apple Blossom Prints. This was that gorgeous sunshine art that Kitnish just put out last year. And again, this is like what I'm aiming for with my back patio. Like it pretty much looks like this. The only difference is that we don't have like nice patio furniture. We have a couple IKEA chairs, like the wooden ones, and a couple of chairs that the landlord has put out there that are kind of like metal. And we have my husband's work table is just literally like a fold-out table, and when we have people over and we want to eat out there, we just get like a plastic tablecloth. I don't know. It could be cuter, but I don't know how much money I really want to spend on it. We made salmon for the kitties. Don't remember why, but why not? Oh, Cindy Gertrude-Baldo announced her kidney transplant, or she either announced her kidney transplant this day or had it this day. You remember that? This is where I was starting to teach at one of the schools that started like earlier than the other one. Everyone's got a different fall start date, which is a little confusing, but whatever. So yeah, I had meetings at my other job because they were going to start the next week. I had a dream that my husband and I were not married, and I woke up and tried really hard not to be mad at him. And this is where I started my House MD rewatch. It rained this day. That's wild. In August. And then Clover got really into watching it too. She really likes defibrillator noises, which is a little disturbing. So yeah, I love that kit. Very cute. And then here is my September dashboard, and this kind of sums up how fall semester went for me. We have another Itty Bitty Sticker Co. monthly. I believe this was for Talk Like a Pirate Day, which falls in September. We still had some fun, but this was definitely like where I was feeling really tired a lot of the time because both schools, or all three schools that I was teaching at, were in full swing at this point. But we made time to go do a few things. Everyone got their vaccinations this month. We'll talk about that in a little bit. These are stickers from Sugar Pop Fizz. I bought mostly the full boxes, the glitter headers, and then a few functional labels, and then I threw in some of my own leftover stickers in order to make it a full rainbow because the core colors, I just bought some a la carte sheets because I wasn't really into the patterns in the full weekly kit. So the main core colors were this blue, this green, this pink, and this pink. And then I supplemented with this orange, this yellow, and this purple to make it a full rainbow. And of course this is Reading Rainbow themed, and I wanted to use this the first week of the semester in Sacramento because LeVar Burton grew up in Sacramento. I don't think he was necessarily born here if I remember correctly, but he spent a lot of time in especially South Sacramento, so I wanted to pay tribute to that. Reading Rainbow is definitely one of the reasons that I got into reading as a kid, along with like, what else? Arthur, all of those PBS shows. Like, we were really only allowed to watch PBS shows growing up. We didn't have cable until I was like maybe 8 anyway. And I do think that is something that we need to reincorporate into future generations, is the idea of reading. Definitely. Obviously, I feel very passionately about that as an English professor. So yeah, we were in the full swing of things now. All 5 classes were happening this week. Let's see what else was going on. Really tired. Had a dentist appointment. Day 100 of Clover's observation happened. I forgot my glasses, and that was important because I need my glasses to drive at night. I have prescription sunglasses that I wear during the day, but I have to switch them out at night. And then also the headlights burned out on the car I was driving, so that was terrifying. We got it all fixed eventually. And then Clover, I took her to get her shots, which I was kind of nervous about because I thought maybe she might have a reaction based on how her immune system doesn't really function properly, or at least it didn't up to this point. But everything turned out fine with her. And then Rings of Power season 2 premiered, so we were watching that for the next several weeks. Or maybe it already premiered before this. I remember we didn't watch the episodes as they came out. I remember that. And then I have an extender on Saturday because there were just a million little things I wanted to mark. Oh, my husband went to Orange County to visit his parents this weekend. So it was just me on my own So I had to dedicate a lot more time to playing with the cats. Like you'll see, I marked playing with the cats twice this day just because they have a lot more energy when it's just me home alone with them. They don't have anybody else to bounce it off of. And yeah, that was basically my whole weekend, was doing a bunch of little things, running errands, taking care of the cats, all that stuff. And then this was my first ever printable kit from Linner Designs. So that's why the paper looks a little bit different. It's just some removable mat that I have in storage. And I used this because we went to the Natural History Museum, or a small natural history museum near us. Really like how it turned out. The print quality could be a little bit better, but I think that's mostly just the paper that it is on. This was Labor Day. I had lunch with a friend. I bought an iPad, which I haven't been using as much this semester, but it came in handy while we were like out and about a lot this semester and while I was working at 3 different campuses. It was really hot this week, temperature-wise, not great. But that is early September for you. And then went to the Natural History Museum. So that was kind of like a last minute decision. So I switched out this kit, and that's why I ended up using a printable. And then had big Sunday scaries, I remember, because this was just a really stressful semester. This is from Cinderella Paper. By the way, I'm sorry in my Q2 flip through, I feel like I did not say where stickers were from a lot. So if you have any questions about any of those kits, just let me know on that video. But this is from Cinderella Paper. I use this because it's like kind of reading themed, and I think I might use this again this spring, but I also thought these colors were great for the fall. Evie got sick at this point, our older cat. She was using her litter a lot, and she has historically had some bladder issues. So we took her to the vet. What we ended up determining was she just kind of had to ride it out. We put her on gabapentin, or the vet did, to kind of ease any pain. And then we just needed to up the amount of her prescription food that she has to eat, because it really helps her keep, I was gonna say moisturized, keep hydrated. And so that helps with her bladder issues. So that's just something. The food is so expensive, y'all. It's like special urinary tract food. It's wet food. Yeah, it's pricey, but you know what's even more expensive is taking your cat to the vet when they get sick. So we will keep feeding her that. We went to the UC Davis Arboretum this day just to walk around, and then we had some friends over for a barbecue. So still doing like little things here and there, but I was just like really grouchy because my weeks were so busy. Like I was out of the house most of the day, Monday through Thursday, and then that really only left Friday to like get everything else together at work, because I was just driving all over God's green earth to teach classes. It was a lot. And then I combined leftovers from Scribble Prints Co. and Cinderella Paper and some foil from, I think, Planner Pixie Co., because this was Evie's birthday week. There's also some foil in here from Plannahannah. Really stressed out. It started to feel like fall here in mid-September though, so that was really nice. I really didn't want to continue, but I needed to with work. And then, let's see, this was Evie's 7th birthday. And I think she was feeling a little bit better this week. Clover killed a house centipede, that's funny. So yeah, she was recovering here. Evie got a chicken dinner because it was her birthday. We like to cook just like plain but special meats for the cats when they have a celebration or when it's a holiday. And then this is from Cafe with Anna. I used this because we saw Casey Musgraves on this Monday, which was very exciting. I talked about this one a lot in my planner awards, so I'm not going to go over a ton of it here. But I ended up only marking 3 things on this Tuesday because I didn't really do much other than take my cat to get her shots that day. And then I've got lots of extenders just because even Cafe with Anna's mini kits come with a lot of full boxes. So I just wanted to use all of them. Clover had to go back again for her shots. Oh, that's right. We kind of had to like restart her kitten series of shots because of everything that happened to her. That was kind of their protocol for that. And then my husband went to the American Planners Association conference this weekend. So it was another situation where I was home alone with the cats. I went and got my shots too that were seasonal. So yeah, really love how this one turned out. So that's the last one we're going to show in this video. I think that's a great one to end on. So we just have one more quarterly flip through to get through, and then we will put 2024 back on the shelf. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know which of these spreads was your favorite, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.